Listen. Listen. I'm supposed to be in Mexico on my birthday. Saturn. The beat. Bang, bang. Wait. Listen. Yo, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. I packed. This is a $3,000 trip. The money is blown. I'm like, what the fuck? Really, bitch? Yo, out of nowhere, I developed this tooth pain. It was so bad. I had tears. I developed a fever. And I'm like, oh my God. And I didn't want to go to the hospital because, Corona is waiting for you there. So I did my prayers, and I'm a nigga. I took care of it. And I lost my flight. I lost everything. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, my archives, what the fuck? Really? I was living. But then I gained control. And I said to myself, okay, Fernando, this is another test. Now, why did this happen to me? I had the situation fixed on emergency. I got to go Monday for surgery. Hi, I answered because you were persistent. And I'm on the air. How can I help you? Yes, your name is. You're live on the air. Are you a new client or do I know you from before? You were the one I spoke to when I had the tooth problem from the beginning? Thank you. Everybody, this is a client who paid me to do a reading the night I was supposed to fly out. And she can't talk to you because you can't hear her. I have her on the line. I couldn't do readings. It was so bad. I could not fucking do reading. It was bad. I will call you back after this stream. I am much better, but I'm going to. If you're watching live stream, I'm going to explain what happened. Watch it, because this is a learning lesson to my subscribers. What do Uncle Fernando tell you? Life is 25% what happens to you and 75% how you respond. All right. Now, Uncle Fernando is going to go back on the air now. All right. What? I'm like Missy Elliott in her two last album. What is this? What the fuck? Oh, you have to see the brochure with it's Playa del Carmen of Cancun and Cozumel. It was beautiful. Oh my God! I had a penthouse suite. It was delicious, and I had a good bargain. I know I'm ranting, but I'm out $3,000. Saturn and the planets went retrograde on the 9th of September. We still got many of the planets retrograde. Mars is just retrograde, and it's in Aries, and it's retrograde. It's bad, affecting my 8th house of money, and I lost lots of money. Ooh, I have to get a fucking Scott. Please allow me to vent. It's been 4 minutes and 52 seconds. At 8 minutes, I'll start the show. But let me tell you, Damn! I refused to spend my birthday feeling sorry for myself. I said, fuck it. Bought me a bottle of whiskey. Killed that motherfucker. Pain. Oh, I killed that motherfucker. I'm gangster in more ways than one. I ain't gonna go to no fucking dentist and no fucking hospital. Corona's waiting. Miss Corona is waiting. Fuck that. Nah. I'm a shaman. I'm a magician. I'll take care of it myself. And I did. And now I'm fine. I'm going to go Monday to get a checkup and inspection to see that there are no anomalies and things brewing. Let me tell you something about nerve pain and tooth pain. It doesn't happen overnight like that. You have a little pain here, you ignore it, goes away a couple of weeks, couple of months. A little pain, maybe a little longer. It goes away, because there's a cavity form and it's tearing apart slowly. So you're feeling the pain slowly. But then when it gets down to that threshold and that nerve hit, that pain can come back to you like a fucking vengeance and nothing you can do. People have passed out from nerve pain and some have died. It's dangerous. But I didn't have a nerve pain. I had a bone dull pain. Because see, I'm a grinder. And I sleep, I grind. And I loosened one of the molars. The molar is a powerful tooth. It has all kinds of nerves and root ends attached to it. When that's dislodged, the pain can be excruciating because it's one of the major molars. It's almost attached to the jawbone. So it cracked. And then the top one also cracked at an impact. Oh, I can tell you how painful that it took whiskey, an $80 bottle, to kill the bitch. So I couldn't do any readings. I couldn't do anything. Saturn. Then I had a dream. It is Mars retrograde. And the 8th house rules oral surgery and surgeons. So I ain't gonna go to a fucking dentist with Mars retrograde in my 8th house of dental surgery. That might give me too much anesthesia. Or they might not give me enough. Or you know what the fuck will happen. And I've been drinking and drugging. You don't want those chemicals in you in that. Really? Oh, see, Uncle Fernando ain't stupid. I know. No, I said no. Let me take care of this myself. And I did. As a true magician does. I'm fine now. But I ain't going to fucking Mexico. Well, at least not now. But I'm going to see if I can go in a couple of days and rebook everything, repay, and do everything and go. But then why did this happen to me? That's why I'm taking 8 minutes of your time to discuss why this happened. Because I wasn't meant to go on that trip. If you guys know anything about tooth and nerve pain, it does not happen overnight like that. I'm telling you, I'm fine and good. And then the next day and hours before getting on the flight, I developed this tooth pain. That shit ain't normal. That was spiritual. I was not meant to go on that trip. And I spoke to my neighbor who they were like, Fernando, why are you here? You're supposed to be on flight right now, on a 14-hour flight. He's a Scorpio. You know, Scorpios know. And the first thing he told me was he was not supposed to go on that trip. He's a man of very little words. I have a lot of Scorpios that surround me. And that's a blessing. And they told me you weren't supposed to go on that trip. So the universe, because you're so stubborn, you're so Aries, moon, and it's true, I'm going to do what I want to do. If you put money in my pocket, I'm going to do what I want to do. That's why I like having money, because it gives me freedom and liberty to do what I want to do. But money will not stop you. Money will not allow you to do what you want to do, because money is an illusion. The gods determine what's going to happen at the end of the day. And they determined, if all my money and everything, that I wasn't going to go. And so they afflicted my physical body to slow me down so I don't get on that plane. And I got to share that with you because that's how Saturn works. See, I be bitching about Saturn, but if I'm to do justice to astrology, Saturn is your best friend because Saturn protects you and nurtures you and teaches you, but he does it through discipline and deprivation and lack and restraint, which are not very pleasant virtues if we're looking at it from the perspective of a human being. But if you're looking at it from the perspective of a god or a guardian who's protecting his flock and his sheep, then they are doing the right thing. It's like being a parent. As a parent, you don't like to spank your child, but sometimes you have to, because if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. So sometimes you have to spank the child. So God spanks us. And this is how he does it. This is how he does it. At the end of the day, I cannot be mad. $3,000 is nothing compared to losing my life. Has something happened to me there? Or if I caught the virus, where there are certain countries that are not disciplined in maintaining this pandemic, like the United States, and there could be carelessness, and I could have died out there. Who knows? And there's a lot that I did not get done. My website, my classes, I still got birth charts to complete. I wanted to do that in Mexico and give you scenery and give you. I'm gonna still do it. It'll take me a week, but I'm gonna still do it. Trust and believe, Uncle Fernando's still gonna do it. But it's just an inconvenient. It's inconvenient. So anyway, that's what I had to say. That's what I had to say. I use tropical. Yeah, I'm beginning to love Saturn too. And I guess he loves me too. Skywalker 999, how are you? Broken Gone, how are you? M Gibbs 1234, happy Sunday. Me Young, how are you? Leah, Mo Young, the elusive Bruja. Nikki Ski, how are you? Rap Tonic, Corey M, Soul Trebelsi. Yes, this is your uncle. Fourth House Fern. How are you? M. James 1234. Yeah, I got you. Brown Time, Luz Mendez. Family famous, family owned. How are you? Brown Town. Can you hear me? Raptonic, buy an external hard drive. Okay. Okay, I'll do that. Ronnie Raising. Who else? E. Hi. And who else? C. Joe Salvaje. Aries. Rina Bambina. Stephanie Sprayberry. Mo Young. How are you? Goddess Ladybug. Nicole. Nedushka Kruska. You get a reading from me from calling me. My number is 347-485-6258. If you are calling from outside the United States, do it through WhatsApp. Call me because you can get through to me. But I cannot call you because I don't have an international line. And trust me, I will get that done. Because some reason I thought I had an international line when I realized I don't. So I can't call you. You have to call me. But I want you to do WhatsApp because I'm on WhatsApp and we can talk and you don't have to pay. Okay? So, and therefore, we can do a reading either today or set one up for tomorrow. Mosquitoes and butterflies type of life. Hey, how are you? Dark. How are you? Jasmine Red. Gloria N. Scorpio Diva. Good to have you back. Nikki Sky. Tangible Goddess. KD. Prismatic Charms. KD. A. Rodriguez. I love you more. Angelica Goddess. Okay, that's all of you. Please donate for content. Shit, I'm gonna need it now. I'm out $3 grand. What the fuck? I make a lot of money, but I spend and lose a lot of money too. That's the Saturn polarity. And you can't get mad. You just can't get mad at all. You just cannot get mad. You just have to manage and go through it. So I've decided to. I've been working on my Alexandria, my school, putting that together. I know a lot of students want to register. Unfortunately, I was not ready because I still had a lot to do. So registration is closed. We'll have to do it again in November. Yeah. We have to do the registration again. It's closed now for the ones that are already enrolled. So for those of you, save your coins. We're on a retrograde. So it would not have benefited you to enroll during a retrograde. Mercury went retrograde on September 9th. So if you want to enter my classes, let's wait until November 13th when Mercury is out of retrograde. And even then, give it another extra week or two just to make sure that there's no debris. So I would say that the last week of November, I will have the registration for the classes. Now is not a good time. Many of the planets are retrograde, and Mercury, the main honcho, is retrograde. So, no, save your money. Learn more about the organization. I'm putting more stuff in there. I'm publishing the website, even though it's not complete. I'm going to let you see the step-by-step process that I'm going to. So you know that Uncle Fernando is working hard. Hard. I wasn't even shaving. I wasn't even cute. Nothing for my butt. I was out in the grind. Sometimes it's like that, especially when you're dealing with Saturn. Oh. I have my shot of whiskey with some rum punch, not whiskey with some some strawberry soda, something. This whiskey, it's strong. It has to be on a kite. $100 a bottle, and I don't usually buy them that. Yes, I do buy them that expensive, but now I have to take care of a fucking tube. But it was so fucking bad that the fuck I didn't do it. The Patron didn't do it. It had to be fucking whiskey. And there's a particular type of whiskey that you buy. You put that bitch in that fucking tube with that nerve, it will kill the nerve. You run the risk of losing the tooth, but fuck that shit. Kill the nerve. The nerves go directly to the brain. Do you realize that could give you a stroke? Could give you a heart attack? The teeth is connected to the heart. Very dangerous stuff. I don't play with that shit. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna kill that. I'll get a root canal. I'll get a car, whatever. But I'm not. No. Fuck that shit. Or I'll take a hammer and fucking punch myself in there and break the fucking tooth. I've done that shit. I've done that. Okay. Enough of that. Chiron. Esto te bailando cualquiera. The peaches hit. I never lose my joy. Never. Never. We only have one life to live. There's plenty of time to cry when we're dead. Right now, let's enjoy carbon matter, for we're only here for a short time. Candela. So smoking cigarette is not good for your tooth. it makes it worse. But the whiskey helps it, and I don't have weed because I you know when I was like that, I went in total health mode. Did all that stuff, but you know, I'm not a smoker, but with whiskey, you gotta have a little smoke. The alcohol. Oh, I didn't even get to fix my own altar. Let me tell you, nerve pain is fierce. Ooh, wee. I think I'd rather have anything else than to have that. Candela, 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 Tito Rodriguez, Candela, Candela. Oh, Lord. Oh, okay. A whole time now, and I do. My friends gave me Percocet, but I don't like taking pills and Percocet stuff like that. You know, my weed, my smoke, my drink, and my occasional blow, and I'm good. I don't like these other drugs, stuff like that. Oh. I've had some very powerful pains in my body, and I've taken drugs to get rid of it. When you're a shaman, you know how to use drugs accordingly. I'm serious. Shamans and spiritualists, we were the first drug users on the planet because we were the first ones to identify mushrooms and hallucinogenic drugs, cocaine. All that stuff was used by shamans thousands of years ago. If you know your anthropological history, or take a course and educate yourself. So I'm at home with these drugs. They're from plant-based. And shamans, we work with plants, botanists. So we know the nature and spiritual value of these plants and the danger that they pharmaceutically can contain if you don't know what you're doing. Uncle Fernando knows. I am rare. I only come once per century, or people like me. This is Pluto and Uranus in Virgo. That alignment in the 60s, that's not going to happen until the next 300 years. So I'm a commodity for the next 3 centuries because there won't be another one of people like me in the next 3 centuries to come. So we come breaking all the rules. But don't you try this at home unless you're a shaman. Now, let's talk about Chiron. Yes, I do synastry charts. I do composite charts, compatibility, relocation, chart rectification, solar arcs, secondary progression, all of it. A professional astrologer will know how to do it all. Horary, electionary, and mundane and esoteric, all of it. Like a doctor. You got to go to 8 years of medical school, 4 years of residency, and then choose to play. Astrology is the same way. Or like the mental health field. It takes years and time and other professions that you need to put in the arsenal to get a holistic education to be an astrologer, to be at the caliber of what I do. I know what I'm doing. Trust me. And I have the gods and the archons supervising my every direction. Bling, 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 bling. Tito, I love you, even after death. The difference between the elusive Bruja just asked a question. Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna get to the Chiron. I'm gonna be here for a minute, maybe over an hour and a half, if I can muster the energy. Cause that pain wore me out. I didn't even eat. I couldn't eat. I had to do mashed potatoes with milk, butter. I put some parsley, crushed garlic, some, and I ate some sardines. I had to puree, and I had to eat it that way. And then, of course, I take my vitamin supplements and drink my teas. You know, when my body tells me that it needs nurturing and it needs love, I obey. And this has been very stressful for me. I'm breaking out, just breaking out. But there's a phase for that. I'm always going to maintain my beauty, no matter how I look like. But if I'm on the grind, I'm not going to look my best. Because Virgos, when we get to doing our work, we don't care about anything else but to work. And I wanted to do the readings with you guys in Mexico and give you scenery and stuff. But I'm gonna have to do that before I get there because there's some people, Gabrielle, who's been wanting to talk to me, Victor, who have had an appointment on the 14th, and I didn't honor that appointment. I was in so much pain, I was just, I had to just take a break. That's why I haven't been. When you don't see me on there for 2 or 3 days, either I'm too busy and it's inevitable, or there's something going on with my health. Very rarely is there something going on with my health. I'm actually in perfect health. Despite how you might see me or my cough and that, I'm always in very good health. I know how to manage it. But if I'm dealing with circumstances that are beyond my control, it's going to pull me into that direction. Oh, cumbiaremo, arriba, arriba, cumbiaremo. I haven't even ever had time to go to the gym, and I've been dying to go to the gym, and I've been doing really good, and I started to lose weight again. Oh God, it's a seesaw. When you have so much to do, it's just. This is my sun in the 12th house. When you have the sun in the 12th house, you're called to do a specific mission and order, and you're removed from the flux and vibrations of daily society. You have to be a guru, recluse, behind closed doors. The hidden veil, the 12th house. Arriba cumbiaremo. Cumbiaremo. Oh, wait, let me go. Cumbere, 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 cumbere. Thank you for allowing me to be myself. That's the only way I know how to be. And the only way I can be of any good use to you. For me being myself. I should be at 53 years old. I know who I am, and I love who I am. When I look in the mirror, I like what I see. And I hope you like who you see when you look in the mirror. You should, because there's not going to be anyone else on the universe like you. You are unique. Embrace the Leo in you. You're your own uniqueness. And that's beautiful. Embrace that, guys. Arriba, cumbiaremo. I love it. Cumbilang, 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 cumbilang. Now, I know, even 28 minutes. My guy, the time went so fast. It felt like I was it's been 30 minutes. Damn. Time does fly when you're having fucking time, don't it? Please don't smoke. I'm doing it because I'm 53 and I only smoke 1 or 2 cigarettes. I'm not a smoker. But sometimes for the outcomes, they want it. Certain days, I do it. But I'm not a smoker. So please don't follow this. It's not good. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prismatic Charm. Tyler Modesto, how are you? It does fly when you're having fun. Hi, Luna Shines. Listen, Luna Shine, don't you worry about that. Because Uncle Fernando knows how to take care of himself. But I am not an innocent, fishy guy all the time. No one is. You have to go to both polarities. And I like to have fun, and I love pleasure of all kinds. I'm going to have to pay for that by going to this pleasure, pain, because that's the opposite polarity. They both come together. And I am a true brawler. I take both. There's no way that you can take the good and not the bad. The guys are like, really, bitch? What you think? I'm going to give you the good and not give you the bad. I got to give you both so you can learn. Tell you. I love you, T. Sheena T. Ware. I love every single one of you. You guys really made my birthday. No one called me for my birthday. Not my brothers, not my ex-partners, not even Madeline. Nobody called me. That's the life of a shaman. Sometimes you help those, and those that you help betray you and turn their backs on you. But that's part of the experience. The 12th house is the house of sorrows. You have to be very strong mentally, emotionally, and psychologically to handle this type of assignment that has been given. And I'm not going to be well received and warmly received by the public. Not people that are here to stir things up. So that I understand as my fate. Hello, how are you? You're on the air. I'm on the air. Thank you, Karina. How are you? Thank you so much for calling me on my birthday. Thank you. I love you. She wishing me a blessed Thursday with many more happiness. I love you. Thank you so much. Oh, the birthday. Sorry. Thank you so much. Well, thank you. Oh my God, she's coming to New York. She's gonna take me out for a drink. I love when a woman take me out. I feel so special and giddy. I don't get that often. Thank you. Well, I will talk to you soon since I have to hang up now. But I love you and thank you. Bye. All right. So that was so sweet. Wasn't that sweet? Oh, that's so nice. Tell you, sometimes the little things go a long way. A long way. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for wishing me happy birthday. Thank you for your love, your appreciation, your respect. Kalila Gray, how are you? Thank you. Yudi, the model. Well, all right. Well, Yudi, you're gonna have to send us some. You're gonna have to send us some pictures so we can see. And crystal clear clarity. Thank you. Thank you. I love you just the same. And just YouTubing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love everything about it. I toast to you guys. Mm, mm. Oh Lord. Okay. Let's talk about Chiron. Anki Sky Ghost took a selfie on my phone. What does it want? You have to talk to me privately about that. You might be haunted by a being that got attached to you. So I need to ask you specific questions. Where you've been, who you've been, whose cell phone is it? Is it yours? Things like that. Who bought it for you? All that. We know it's like paranormal investigator. That's real. We have to, and I have to find out what is it. Is it an answer? An ancestor? Is it a guide? Is it an archon? Is it an ancestor? So you need to call me to discuss that privately. 347-485-6258. Okay. Uh-huh. Yes, será. ¿Qué será? Oh. I don't know. Between music and you guys and doing what I'm doing, this is my Venus and my Jupiter in Leo. I think I'm gonna die doing this. Oh, ¿Qué será? Aha. Chiron in the hospital, in the horoscope. Chiron is the wounded healer. He's the one that heals everybody. But no one is there to heal Chiron. Shamans, clairvoyants, healers like myself symbolize Chiron. We're here to heal humanity. But Chiron has two functions. Wherever Chiron falls in the horoscope is where you're going to invoke empathy from people. Do you know what empathy means? Chiron comes in two modalities. Wherever Chiron falls in the horoscope is where you're going to invoke empathy from people. What do I mean by empathy? People will feel sorry for you. People will feel lamentation for you. People will feel sadness for you. And that's going to raise a level of compassion from the soul level that will transcend the ego and will allow you to act on a humanistic level concerning that pain within your own self or that in others. Not sympathy, empathy. Sympathy is different from empathy. But you are right that eventually the empathy becomes sympathy. That's one modality. It's a reflective perspective. It's how people see you and judge you based on how they see you. That's one perspective of Chiron. The other perspective of Chiron is that he shows where in the birth chart you've been wounded. Wounded, not just in this life, but for many lifetimes. And that wounding, painful aspect of you is the source of your great healing. Not only to transform yourself, but to transform others and their pain. Chiron is quite important in the birth chart, but it's very poorly understood, and not many astrologers talk about Chiron. They say that Chiron is the undiscovered ruler of Virgo. But then there are other astrologers that say that Vulcan is the undiscovered ruler of Virgo. My opinion, I believe Vulcan is the actual ruler of Virgo, which has not yet been discovered, but it will. It's not far. Chiron, believe it or not, it's exalted in Taurus. Taurus rules self-esteem and self-worth. And so does Chiron. So to understand how you should heal yourself and others, we need to look at Taurus, which is the esoteric ruler behind Chiron. Pálame este mambo, dimerita santa. Chiron represents Sagittarius in a mundane level, but in an esoteric level, it doesn't. Ooh la la. Chiron esoterically represents Pisces. Mundanely, it represents the wisdom behind the healing of Sagittarius. And there's a mythology between Chiron and Sagittarius. We're not going to go into that here. So that's why you're saying that. There is a connection. But Sagittarius is number 9. So it's incomplete. The true complete mission that begins in the awareness in Sagittarius is completed in Pisces. Oh. Oh, it's wonderful. Good evening, Onyx Crown, Brenda Kaye. Chiron. Chiron, the wounded healer. Okay, let's jump right in. Let's jump right in. Let's talk a little bit of the mythology of Chiron. Let me pull my notes that I have on Chiron. Let's look at the mythology of Chiron, so we can have a psychological perspective of what he stands for. Okay? And let me tell you, Chiron is pretty complex. It's pretty complex. Yeah. It changed my music to rap. There's something else I gotta tell you about Chiron. A lot of you, I don't want rap or hip hop. I like it, but give me my Latin. I like hip hop and rap, but that doesn't give insight to me or allow the outcome to give me insight. Rap and hip hop, all that is related to the ego. So is this. But the Spanish music that I choose has specific meanings to what I'm talking about. I just don't choose random music. Now, according to the archaic myth, Chiron was siren by the Titan Cronus when he had taken the form of a horse and impregnated the nymph Philaera. Chiron's lineage was different from other centaurs who were born from the axiom co-signed by fiery wheel and Nephili. Nephili is a cloud, which formed the Olympian pantheon. This is complex because it involves Zeus and Hera. We're going to put a clip on that because that in itself is complex. We have to come back to that. When Zeus and Hera gave birth to Aries and to Chiron. But then it talks about Philyra. The Titan Cronus impregnated the nymph Philyra, and she had a son, and his name was Chiron. But after she gave birth to Chiron, she abandoned her child out of shame and disgust. Chiron, effectively orphaned, was later found by the god Apollo, who took him under his wing and taught him the art of music, lyra, archery, medicine, and prophecy. Apollo's twin sister, Artemis, trained him in archery, hunting. Chiron's uniquely peaceful character and kindness and intelligence are attributed to Apollo and Artemis. That's one source. Another source talks about the fact that Chiron was originally a Thessalian god, later subsumed into the Greek pantheon as a centaur. Chiron was a great healer, a great astrologer, and a respected oracle. Chiron was said to be the first among centaurs and highly revered as a teacher and tutor. So wherever Chiron falls in your horoscope is where you're going to be a great teacher and tutor based on pain that you've been through. It is the degree of the life coach. Chiron represents the life coach versus the clinical therapist that had to go through academic training and clinical training to be a healer. Chiron is a healer, not only based on the clinical training that he has experienced through trial and error, but to the wisdom that comes with being a healer and being wounded. Okay? The mythology of Chiron is quite complex. So where we see Chiron in the birth chart is where we see complexity. Chiron had disciples. And the disciples that he had were many culture heroes. Asclepius, Aristeus, Ajax, Aeneas, Actaeon, Cyaneus, Theseus, Achilles, Jason, Peleus, Telamon, Perseus, and Hercules, Oileus. And in the Byzantine tradition, based on the Byzantine emperor, even Dionysius, the god of wine and ecstasy, as defined by the Hellenistic culture of the West, is also attributed to Chiron as a personification of Dionysius in the Western Hellenistic culture. According to Ptolemaeus of Chenus of Alexandria, Dionysius was loved by Chiron. Here we see another reference where Dionysius is not Chiron, but he's loved by Chiron as a son. There are different mythologies and references that come from different cultures that talk about Chiron, where Chiron is Dionysius, but in other cultures, he is the father of Dionysius by adaptation. Like he was adopted by Apollo because he was abandoned by Philia, the nymph. He also was the one that took those that were also out and abandoned. He was a champion of the orphan and those who are in the foster care system. He rules these people. Dionysius was loved by Chiron, from whom he learned the chants of magical spells and dancing, the Bacchae rites, and the initiation rites. which are now observed by the Scottish Rite, originally came from the Hellenistic period of this tradition, which mythology talks about. It's one of the references. There's also a link with Chiron and Peleus. And this is going to be explained in the sense that in another complex perspective of the mythology was that Chiron was a grandfather of Peleus through his daughter Endias, who married the king of Aegina. Acus, Chiron, saved the life of Peleus when Ascastus tried to kill him by taking his sword and leaving him out in the woods to be slaughtered by the centaurs. Chiron retrieved the sword from Peleus. Chiron then explained to Peleus how to capture the nymph, Theseus, leading to their marriage. Remember, Theseus, in the Clash of the Titans, she was the goddess that Queen Cassiopeia offended, along with Hera, if you know the mythology, if we're talking about the Hellenistic period. Chiron is also connected with the story of the Argonauts, whom he received kindly when they came to his residence on their voyage. For many of the heroes were his friends and pupils. His death is another mythology altogether different. His nobility is further reflected in the story of his death. We're not going to go into that, but I hope this brief synopsis gives you a picture of the mythology of Chiron. It's quite complex. Oh, I love to turn up, but I'm nurturing a tooth. I'm telling you. And it's a molar. There are 18 nerves associated with the molar. So when one tooth hurts, your whole mouth hurts. Other parts of your tooth starts to hurt because, the teeth don't have one nerve to them. They have multiple nerves connected to them, up and down to the brain stem. So when you have a tooth pain here, it hurts other parts of your mouth and other resonates to other teeth and other gums. It can give you a headache, it can give you dizzy. Oh, God. Oh, my God. You can't be focused. You can't enjoy the beat when there's a beat with a different heartbeat, beating boom, 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 and it's a fucking tooth. Eunice by yours truly. How are you? Tennessee. Tyler Modesto, how are you? IQ Cell Girl. Out the beat. Out. Ay! Wait. Karen. Ay. You still gotta keep it going. You still gotta keep it going. You rest when you die. Out of nowhere. Da, 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 da. Chiron. Oh. How do we integrate Chiron in the horoscope? And how does it relate to you? And how does it relate to the human ego and personality of who you are? What is it bringing to you? Oh, para bailar, Para gozar. Mi cha cha cha. Mi cha cha cha. Okay. The elusive brewer. Yes, we are on Chiron and we are in focus. But I'm going to do things my way now. Don't invoke the Aries moon. Let me do this the way I know to do it. Mi cha cha cha. Oh, thank you, Bruja. Mi cha cha cha. Chiron in Aries. Cardinal fire. Ah! The god of war. Mars is the ruler. And the first house. Para usar. Mi cha cha cha. Chiron in Aries. Let me remember, we mentioned two polarity points in which Chiron functions. Let's talk about the first one. The empathy that it invokes from others concerning you with Chiron in Aries. Para gozar, mi cha cha cha. If you have Chiron in Aries, the baby. People see you. This is the perception that people have of you when you're born with Chiron in Aries. And this doesn't happen. This observation doesn't happen immediately. You're not going to notice this on this person on first meeting. You're not going to know this on someone who's an acquaintance. You have to really get to know this person personally to know how Chiron works. Oh. Wait. I got to do this. Tito Rodriguez, my God, I love that man. I like a bitch. I go crazy and wet when I hear this man. All men do, but we cannot hear that man and not feel a certain way. Oh my God, men and women react the same way. We melt with the voice of this man and these songs, and it's so in keeping with the series. Un son para bailar, para gozar. Mi cha cha cha. Chiron in the cardinal sign of Aries. It's not good. I am. It's not good. I'll tell you why. Aries, whether he's below age 30 or above age 30, is still the baby. Let's talk about the men first. Because it's very openly noticeable with men than it is with women. Men born under Aries are eternal children. I've known men in their 50s, 60s who look and act like they're babies. These men can still fuck young girls in their 20s and their 60s because they have that youthful. Aries is masculine fire, and it's ruled by Mars, the planet of sexuality. So I don't care how you could be 50, 60, 70, you could still sling. And any young girl will get on that pole anytime if she's attracted to you and is turned on by you. And most likely she will, because the Aryan agent is very sexy, very masculine, and it does not matter the age. It transcends age. When you have Chiron in Aries, you don't grow up. You don't grow up gestationally in sequential manifestation of maturity. Now, I just gave a very powerful point by making that statement. You could have men in their 50s, 60s that are still thinking and acting like they're in their 20s or 30s. Women love men like that because they're easily controllable. Women can appeal to the boy in these men and get anything out of them. But a true disservice to these men with Chiron and Aries is if they have women in their lives who don't bring about or pull out their shortcomings, their flaws. Yes, I'm on the air. I cannot take your call right now. You are? Oh, great, Mr. Sampson. That's right. I totally forgot. I apologize about that. Can you call me later on in the evening? I'm on the air, and you're on the air as well. Yes, can I call you back? I'll call you back before I'm currently on the air. So, like I'm saying, these women, if they don't nurture their men and point out their flaws and help develop them and transform them, they will become eternal children. And not in a good way. There'll be eternal children mentally where they don't get it, they don't homogenize or connect with society. They could be antagonistic, apathetic to other human beings. The person born with Saturn in Aries comes from a place of invalidation. I have to say invalidation, the main issue here with Chiron and Aries. When you have Chiron and Aries, other people don't respect you, don't validate you, don't take you seriously, and feel sorry for you. Because from the perception of others looking from the outside in, that's modality number one. I'll talk about number two. Number one, the perception that society has on you when you have Aries and Chiron is that you are unmanageable, uncontrollable, you are a child, you're mentally immature, and you're not to be taken seriously. That is the perception that you give off to others when you're born with Chiron in Aries. The other perspective is the actual wounding that may be there. See, people's perception of you might not be real. The only thing that could be real is the inner reality that only you know that you're living outside of other people's awareness. This is the other aspect of Chiron. When you're born with Chiron in Aries, there may be a personal, more private issue that is not known by the public that you have to deal with for the rest of your life. Remember, Chiron is a god, but he's wounded, maimed. And even though he's a god, he cannot be cured of his affliction. His gift is that the affliction that he has, he can heal others, but he can't heal himself. That's the curse. So when you have Chiron in Aries, personally, you might need healing in the sexual department. Aries rules human sexuality along with Mars. You might have an issue with impotency, an issue with getting it up, an issue with intimacy, an issue that somehow takes away from the beauty and cardinality of Aries. When you have Chiron in Aries, you are wounded in many levels. And if you're in Aries, you're not a full, true Arian because there's a lot of healing and trauma that needs to be brought to balance. pulling from the opposite polarity of Libra. That is not something that I can talk to you generically on a video. The birth chart has to be calculated to see what is the actual personal, private inadequacy that you have that other people don't see. That's one perspective. The other perspective is the public perception of what they feel is wrong with you. And my phone died. My phone died without explanation, and it was fully charged. This is the outcome probably not wanting me to say a few things or tell some things. So let me get the charger. Okay. All right. And the tablet stopped working. It just stopped working. Just stopped working. The music part stopped working with no explanation. This is Saturn. Because when you don't have an explanation, you can't fix it. And that's the power of Saturn. I'm going to attempt the tablet. But it was with no explanation. And the one thing that I hate the most, and the outcomes really get me good, there's no explanation for these types of incongruency. But that's the design. That's the design. Yep, no sound. There's nothing I can do about it. So I have no control here. And sometimes that's the whole point. Sometimes Saturn does not want you to have control. And it's very humbling. Very humbling. There's just nothing I can do about it. So I'm going to continue with other music because there's nothing I can do about it. So again, Chiron has a situation, or Chiron in the birth chart is a mirror reflection of the pain that the soul has gone through for many eons of incarnation. So Chiron in Aries also symbolizes an accumulation of past hurts and experiences that have occurred through the sign of Aries throughout many lifetimes. To have Chiron in Aries doesn't mean that you have it for the first time in this incarnation. You might have had Saturn in Aries for many incarnations, setting a trend and also giving a trajectory of the history of pain concerning the soul. It's deep. It's deep. Chiron in Aries. Now, how do you heal from Chiron in Aries? Well, one of the key factors in understanding Chiron is that there is a certain level of human compassion and human empathy that one has to develop for themselves. Chiron in Aries awards you an opportunity to look at your pain and decide whether you're going to use it to leash pain onto the world, or you're going to use it to heal yourself and then heal others. It awards you a choice. But it's not a choice that you can make wisely if you have no psychological understanding of your pain and the history of your pain, going back many lifetimes. The soul contains pain from many lifetimes. Have you ever heard of something called soul sickness? Soul sickness is very real. People who are born and they're just sad, depressed. They don't know why, and nobody else knows why. You know who had soul sickness? Phyllis Hyman, who committed suicide. No one saw it coming. People thought that she was happy, a millionaire, making money. I actually met her husband, the late Phyllis Hyman. A prince. She married a prince before she died when she was in the 72nd Broadway. What is it? The Aurora, the one on 72nd Street and Broadway. That is multi-millionaire. John Lennon lived there. I think it's called the Aurora. I forgot about it. I used to go there all the time and look at it because I used to go to BBQs. It was right next door. And I met all kinds of celebrities. She was a member of the Fugees. Remember the Fugees? Oh my God. So many celebrities lived in that building. Yeah. I believe it's the Aurora. Okay. And no one saw her sadness. No one knew the level and deepness of her depression. Another one who had a very charmed life, multimillionaire, handsome. I loved him. Robin Williams. Nanu Nanu, Mork Mindy, and he did all kinds of movies. Committed suicide, and no one saw it coming. No one knew of this man's depression. This is Chiron. He was going through a personal hell. So Chiron represents two factions: how people perceive you and how they feel for you, and what they perceive what's wounded and wrong with you, which might not be at all the reality. And then there's the other faction where the personal inadequacy and pain that only you know and nobody else knows. Amy Winehouse. They tell me to go to rehab, and I say no, 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 no. Well, bitch is dead. Very wealthy woman at 29. Hit records, songs. And then commit suicide because it wasn't an overdose, it was suicide. I know things that you may not know about the late Amy Winehouse. So Chiron is deep. It represents personal inner pain that you might not know how to bring to balance and might take you out. And some can hold it in and you will never know it. Others, they'll hold forever on their sleeve. And it's only a matter of time where it blows up on them in the form that it does. Chiron in Aries. Thank you, Choppers Fuji. Mary, I was just about to go there. You are my people. I love you. My girl. I love you. You're on point. I got the best intelligent subscribers on YouTube. You're all on point. You're all on point. I'm proud. I'm so proud of you. I can't express it. I was just thinking of Mary J. Blige. You can see the pain in her eyes. This is Chiron in the horoscope, in the birth chart. That's right, Scorpio Diva. Only the strong survive. Margaret Kimball Eaton. Yes, they're deep, deep demons. Another name for demons are archives. But let me tell you something about these demons. They cannot hurt you unless you give them power. And you know how you give them power? By not loving yourself, by not knowing yourself. If you're that type of human, they're going to feed off of you like a battery. Because that's what archons do. Danielle S., you ain't lying. You ain't lying. Bitch been through it. And that's my bitch. I love Mary J. Love her to death. I cry every time I hear her music and see her. I do prayers for her. She don't even know. I do prayers for her. I love that woman. Because she embodies pain. And she a tough, brawling motherfucking dog. She a woman, but she a nigga inside. What? I love that woman. The epitome of emotional and psychological strength for what she's been through. And many people of her type. I need to re-up. Azúcar para bailar. Oh God, I finished the last week. It's huge too. It's heavy. Okay. So, a personal inadequacy with Chiron and Aries, besides having sexual impotency or lack of sexual drive and not being able to get it up, having problems sexually because Mars rules sexuality and sex and the penis, you know, and Chiron and Aries can cause problems in those areas. Another area that Chiron and Aries can be afflicted is in lack of courage. Like they say, a pussy ass nigga. Someone who has no backbone or is perceived as being weak and not having strength, cardinal strength. So people born with Chiron and Aries might need to prove to the public that they are who they are and that they're not weak and wounded to the point where they're worthless or useless in society. Remember, Aries is cardinal. So in order for Aries to feel productive and feel powerful, he needs to feel effective. So Chiron and Aries can make you not be effective. Failure to launch, a dud. Chiron retrograde only means that you are unaware of your own weakness. When Chiron goes direct, you become aware of your weakness through trial and error and experience. That's what the retrograde of Chiron means. So Chiron retrograde means that you're not ready to deal with the shortcomings and inadequacies and deep insecurities that reside within you. It's deep. It's deep. And we're about to get deeper. Deeper, deep, 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 you know. Thank you for suggesting donation. Do you know what YouTube did? This is another fucked up situation. You know, I told you that I had owed a lot of money. I paid it, I had taxes, I issued the PayPal blocked me because I put it in and then it took too long to unblock it. Well, they unblocked it. But now that you all send me money, guess what happened? They're holding my money. They're holding your donations. They gave it to me on a later date. So you kept me bankrupt for almost 30 days. And now when I have it on, now the money that's available, I cannot use. This is Saturn, and this is the retrograde. And this is also Mars in my 8th house of other people's money, retrograde. Well, you're sending me money, but I cannot have access to it until the planet goes direct. But by the time it goes direct, I'll have a nice, hefty sum. So please donate. I won't be able to enjoy your donations because it's being held. Another situation, I can explain it. I cannot explain it, but this is a measure that they're taking. So please donate, and I will be able to enjoy your money. I guess when I go to Mexico next week, when that money will come in handy, because now I'm not having access to it. But this is all part of the retrograde. You know, you go through. I go through it too. Just because I'm a shaman and a great astrologer doesn't mean that I don't get hit by Saturn, and I share that with you. So that I am no greater person than you. I shit and piss and it stinks just like you do too. And I go through it too. But I'm 53 years old today. And I can handle it and manage it. And I think my best gift to you is to give you that strength, fortitude, and confidence that you can beat whatever is thrown at you. Because God will give you more than you can bear. And at the end of the day, all obstacles, oppositions, and adversity make you a stronger person, a polished person. In the end, the end result is always good. It's just that during the process of what we're going through, this transmutation, it's not going to be easy or comfortable. And we have to trust the process and that we're going to be seen through the light of the tunnel on the other end. Because it will be, and it does, usually. Chiron in Aries. Thank you. Thank you. Arthur White. You said, what is the donation for? For content. The donation is for content because the content that I'm giving you, you're not going to get anywhere else. I think you guys already know that. You guys already know that. No one has the credentials that I have, okay, or the education, level of education that I have. Not at 20 or 30, but I have it at 53. So if you're over 50, you can trust these astrologers. But those who are in their 20s and 30s, they may be good, but they don't have a holistic educational experience of life to be able to handle real life challenges by people that are more experienced and more aged. So this video and my video serve as an example for young astrologers to model. We don't want this to be a parlor game astrology. This is serious business. You're dealing with people's psyche and people's lives when you do this type of work. And I want these astrologers that are young to take that seriously. And you know I do. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I love all of you. For real. Now, let's see if we can activate the music again because, you know, it's fucked up. But what can you do? Nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. Okay. Now let's see if it'll turn on. Let's see. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's keep our fingers crossed. It might be too weak to open up, but it's okay. Do you guys understand Chiron in Aries? I'm going to give you, I got 6 minutes remaining because it's an hour and a half. I don't do too long because the attention span is not too well with young people. So if you have any questions about Chiron in Aries, please ask me now. Only Chiron in Aries. Don't talk about the houses because that's a separate thing that I got to do about Chiron in the houses. I'm going to do Taurus in the next series. Let's keep the conversation with Chiron in Aries. I'm going to do Taurus in the next entry. Stephanie Chambliss, you said that you don't see Chiron. Uh, Call me. We'll do a birth chart on the phone. No, I'm not going to charge you, just to show you what Chiron is. But you should, I might have to give you a particular website where they have them all. Did I do the Gemini, Chiron in Gemini? No. I'm only doing Aries. Remember, I'm going by order. Aries, Taurus is next, then Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, and then Pisces. I'm going in order. Now we are focusing on Aries. Women with Chiron in Aries. I have Chiron in Aries and Mars in Aries, but no backbone. Well, that's why you have Chiron in Aries, because you have no backbone. Once you develop the backbone, the Mars in Aries will be activated, and then you do and act the way you're supposed to. But Chiron there is letting you know that in many lifetimes, you had this placement of Mars in Aries, and you were a wimp or a doormat and didn't use it to assert and bring yourself forward. So now with Chiron conjunct Mars in Aries, you're here to get it right. Because in many lifetimes you did not get it right. This time you have one last time to get it right. IG selling girl for women in Chiron in Aries. Chiron in Aries, the woman is so angry. The women with Chiron in Aries are very angry, self-entitled, and they blame all of their unhappiness on the partner. They don't own their role or how they contributed to the failure of their relationships. With Chiron in Aries in a woman's chart, she is to learn over time that true love and true connection with another human being, pulling from the opposite polarity of Libra, requires cooperation. And the Aries woman doesn't like to cooperate. Okay? How can you build a backbone? Josie B. Well, the first thing you got to do is mentally, you got to believe that you are worth fighting for. Mentally, you have to believe that you deserve your space and moment in time in your own platform. Everybody has their moment. We are all special and we're all valuable. But you need to determine that value for yourself. You cannot rely on your teachers, your schooling, your raising, your upbringing, your parents. I don't care how much they love you, because they're going to die, right? You're going to see your parents buried because that's the natural process. And you're going to be left alone to fend for yourself. You need to develop a value system that's comfortable for you and productive and healthy for you, that's going to foster your evolution and growth. And if it means going away from the value system of the parents, so be it, or that of society. With Chiron and Aries, you've been wounded by those that you've trusted. So now you have to trust yourself and trust in your own instincts to go to point A to point Z. And if you are being directed and guided by others, that's great, but know that you're the ultimate captain of your ship. This is the lesson that you learn when you have Mars or Chiron in Aries. And we're done. It's an hour and 30 minutes. Please donate so I can come back and continue doing Aries completing, and then we go into Taurus.